closer and prettier than ever.
Out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night. Step into the sun, step into the light. Keep straight ahead for the most glorious place on the face of the earth or the sky. Hold on to your breath, hold on to your heart, hold on to your hope. March up to the gate and it'll open.
Right, good morning, everyone. My name's David. I'm at GauntletCon 2019, which is an online gaming convention run by the Gauntlet online role-playing community. There is a link down to the Gauntlet website, which is at gauntlet-rpg.com, which is down below us. So today I will be leading my players here on a journey into the wonderful world of Oz by way of Monsterhearts, which means it may be slightly less wonderful than at first advertised. Monsterhearts is a game by Avery Alder about teenage monsters living their lives and getting into various troubles with each other and their friends and families. This will be just a one-shot session today. We'll be looking to play for about 3 hours, I guess, today, after my initial faffing around. I will introduce, I'll ask my players to introduce themselves, then we'll go back through and introduce characters, and we'll start asking some of the backstory questions. As I said, my name is David. I use he, him pronouns, and now that we have chosen characters, I will go through in order of the character keeper. So, Leandro, if you'd like to introduce yourself first, please.
Damn, I didn't realize I was picking the leftmost in the character keeper. Hi, my name's Leandro. I use he, him pronouns. I guess I've been playing with Gauntlet since July of last year, and this is only technically day 2 of Gauntlet Con. So I still look nice. Watch me in 2 days, and I'll just be a pile of glop. But either way, looking forward for some Monsterhearts inflected Wizard of Oz shenanigans this morning.
Brilliant, thank you, Leandro. And Marco, if you'd like to introduce yourself next.
I'm Marco. I use he, him pronouns, but I'm playing Andie, the Scarecrow, who uses they, them pronouns because I can become whoever I want. I have played with the Gauntlet before, and I have played with Maria recently, but I haven't, and I played a number of PBTA games, but never before have I played Monsterhearts. So I've heard APs of people play them, so I kind of get the idea.
Cool, thank you very much. Maria, if you'd like to introduce yourself next.
Hi, I am Maria. I use she, her pronouns. I've been playing with the Gauntlet for 3 or 4 months now. A lot of night witches, mostly, but occasional Saturday morning 3 a.m. shenanigans with Marco. Let's see. I will be playing Micah, who we'll meet in a little bit. But I think that's it. It's early in the morning.
Yes, I think it's different varieties of early in the morning for all of us here. Some of us have been to bed. I have. I think that's about it. Finally, Will, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Will. My pronouns are he and him. I am going to be playing Dorothy. She is a freshman at the school. And I probably should have gone to bed an hour ago, but this is my first day of playing on the Gauntlet and my first time playing Monsterhearts. So let's just power through it.
I think it's probably a good state of mind for playing a Wizard of Oz based game in anyway. So yeah, let's see how we go. So yeah, in a second I'll get people to do sort of full introductions for characters. In a moment we'll go through backstory stuff. Just before we do that, I will just go through our safety tools quickly. So because Monsterhearts in particular has, can go into some fairly dark territory, or fairly difficult territory, I should say. Not necessarily dark, but it can go places. Let's just say that. So it's important that we do so in a safe environment. So we have had a quick discussion off air before I started recording about lines and veils. Lines and veils are basically lines of things where we won't touch on them at all. We won't refer to them. They won't be part of our game in any way. Veils are things where we can refer to them, but we won't kind of focus on them. We won't have any spotlights on them. We'll fade to black maybe when they happened, or just, say, okay, that thing happens and we move on. Words to that effect. So we because I think that it's important that people have a chance to hear that freely without sort of fear of judgment, etc., etc. So I do that before recording. The other tools that we will be using are the X card. The X card's a fairly straightforward tool. It's there as a kind of emergency brake, is what I like to think of it. If there is something that comes up that you do not want in the game, just either type in the chat, like you just said, I'd like to X card that, put your hands up in X formation, which I will hopefully notice, or just call out, I'd like to X card that. Any way you do it is fine, as long as it gets attention. If something is X carded, basically what that means is we'll remove that thing from the game. I may need to ask the person X carding exactly what it is that they want to X card out, but I won't ask for any justification for that. If you want it out, it's out. It's simple as. And again, there's no if you are if something you introduce is X carded, don't take that as a personal thing. We don't know what everyone is thinking at all times, and so on and so forth. So just take it on the chin. It's fine. Don't feel the need to beg apologies or whatever either. It's just something that comes up, and we'll deal with it that way. The other tool we will be using is a script change by Bo Sheldon. This gives us a bit more control. It's a bit more nuanced than the X card. The first and simplest and arguably most useful element of the script change tool. So it's essentially based on sort of the idea of like a remote control. There's the PDF of this in the shared folder if you do want to just check up on it. But the first command that's most useful, I think, is pause. Any point, anyone can just call a pause to just say and for any reason this can be. So it might be that you want to call a pause because actually the doorbell's just rung and you just need to go down and answer it, or something like that. And you just say, can I just take a moment? That's fine. It might be because you want to have an out-of-character conversation about something. You might say, can we pause this for a second? I'm not happy with the way this scene is going. Can we try and steer it onto a different path, or something like that? Or to negotiate, so say, I would like to do this thing to your character. Is it cool if I do that? Or is that something you don't want to happen? That sort of negotiation is a good idea in general, I think. So up front, enthusiastic consent is always good. Or it might just be you might literally just call a pause and say, okay, I really like this scene, but I just need 30 seconds to just breathe a bit, and then we can get back into it if a scene's particularly intense or whatever, and you just need a moment and sort of respite. Any of those things are a good thing to use pause for. Rewind can be used to as it would suggest, to sort of step a scene back a little bit. So this might be you might use this in a sort of X card where it's saying, actually, I'd rather we didn't do that. Can we just go back to before that happened and find a different way of doing it? Or it might just be, you might say, oh, actually, I realize that what I said doesn't actually make sense. Can we just ignore that and I'll say something different instead? Anything like that is good. So that's what rewind's for. Fast forward, similar to that, is sort of the opposite to that. if you call for a fast forward, you can just say, can we just like skip over this bit? That might be sort of similar to like a veil type use. It might be, I don't want us to have a big long drawn out discussion over, you know, how this guy gets beaten up. Can we just say he gets beaten up and move on? It might be because a scene's just kind of got a bit circular and is dragging, and you might just say, can we just like move to the end of the scene, or move past, you know, get to a point where something's happening. And what the last one I think is quite most useful, of the most useful ones, I think, is the frame by frame. You can call this if like you're going to a scene where you think it might be uncomfortable or something else, you know, you're just not quite sure how you want to handle something. And what frame by frame means is we'll just take things a little bit more slowly, and we'll just check in with each other a bit more frequently about how stuff is going. It's just to kind of flag up that we want to kind of, just deal with something a bit more in a bit more measured way. There's also there's the resume command, which basically just means go back to normal play. I tend to forget that because generally once you've had the out of character chat, we know where we're going anyway. Finally, there is also the instant replay, which can be used to kind of recap what's just happened in the scene. Might just be for Chris saying, I really liked what you did there, or just to clarify, like, oh, did you know, things got a bit confusing towards the end there. Did you actually steal the volleyball trophy or not? You know, that sort of thing. The final, well, safety tool isn't quite the right word, but the final thing we'll be using is the we're playing under the open table policy, open door policy rather, sorry, which basically just means if at any point you do need to leave the game, whether that be like completely or like for 10 minutes or whatever, feel free to do so. You know, again, if you can let me know, that's cool. But if something happens and you just need to go, then go. You know, you're more important than this game, and we will find a way to continue without. I will be calling breaks fairly frequently, as in on the hour anyway. But that's just you know, if you need to take a break at any time, that's fine. If you need to leave at any time, that's likewise fine. Cool. So that's us done safety wise, I think. So that brings us to, I will go back through and ask people to, just to reintroduce their characters, and you know, give us a little blurb on them. As I said, you've got, if nothing, I think you've got all the little blurb that comes with the scenario. You can read through if you want, or if you want to paraphrase it yourself, that is also cool. So if you'd like to, I'll go back through in character keeper order. So back to you, Leandro.
Yeah, so for today's one shot, I am playing Esme Gulch, who's using the Harpy skin, which is a fan skin from Monsterhearts 2. It comes with Codex Emerald. There's a plug there. Where you find this scenario as well. Esme is a senior at the Emerald City High School. That's what I'm assuming what those letters mean. She's been quite involved in the drama club, has been the understudy for the role of Dorothy Gill for the past 3 years. Knows every line by heart. But this is her final year. She's never gotten the chance to play the role of Dorothy Gill. So this is her moment. But apparently this runt, this nobody just flies in, this fresh little freshman girl just kind of like lands from the sky and bedazzles everyone, and her name is Dorothy. What's up with it's ridiculous. It's never would happen with the previous two director. It's too much. This girl is not. It's a very annoying situation, and Esme is very, very annoyed about all this.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Lost my place. Marco, if you'd like to introduce Andie.
Andie is the using the hollow skin, and the Andie is a sophomore at Emerald City High School. they don't really know who they are. They don't really fit in anywhere in school, at home. But I just started in drama club, and I really like this because it doesn't matter that I don't know who I am because I can be whoever I want to be. Um, yeah, Esme's really interesting. I'm going to be watching Esme and seeing seeing if I could be more like her.
Brilliant, thank you. And next, Maria, if you'd like to introduce Micah.
I will be playing Micah, who is the ghoul skin. He's a junior at Emerald City, and he's got a pretty dark secret. He isn't supposed to be here. He had a terrible accident that his best friend Will may have witnessed, but he's back and pretty ready to be a reckless youth because now, well, I guess I can't die. Or at least I died, but I came back. So what are consequences? And I have a hunger for love, blood, and other things.
Lovely, thank you. And finally, our new arrival. Well, we'll be introducing our new arrival, Dorothy.
You muted, Will.
Thank you for the warning. It won't be the last time. I'm playing Dorothy Summers. She's using the Bedlam skin, which my understanding is that came from Monsterhearts second skins. That's not one of the core skins. Anyway, she's a freshman here at Emerald City High School. She's new to the drama club. She just sort of showed up out of nowhere, but she's a natural. She's magnetic. She's whip smart. She's willing to go places other actors won't go. She's method, and she caught the eye and attention of the new theater director, who decided that she's absolutely the person to play Dorothy this year. Seniority, what's that? Sorry, not sorry, Esme. What Dorothy doesn't necessarily show people right away is that every time she rehearses, she opens a door to another world. And she's there, living in both worlds, this gray and boring one, and that one, the beautiful, magical one. And let's be serious, that's where she really wants to be. She doesn't really want to be here pretending to be what she could actually be. She's tried to stay in that Technicolor world, but she always snaps back, and sometimes other things snap back with her.
Brilliant, thank you very much. So yes, I actually realized as well I forgot to plug a couple of bits in my initial spiel at the beginning. But yes, so the playset we're playing, this Emerald City Drama Club playset, was featured in the Gauntlet Codex Emerald issue, and it is written by Jesse Ross, who writes brilliant stuff. You should really check out all of his things. They are very good, including Trophy and Trophy Gold amongst them. And Girl Underground, brilliant. If you are watching this and you have not heard of Girl Underground, go out, find it, play it. It's excellent. So yes, that's the playset, and yes, the Harpy playbook I think was originally, that was in Skins for the Skinless by Topher Gurki, I think it is. I could be remembering that name wrong, which was then adapted for Dorothy is by fellow Gauntleteer Sawyer Rankin, and that was featured in someone just mentioned it, Skin Deep, that's it, which is a collection of a collection of new skins that they've done. So yeah, do check that out. Cool. Right, yeah. What we will do now is we'll quickly go through. I don't know if we'll see how many of these we go through, but I will ask people if we can start doing some of our backstory questions. So I'll be turning back to you, Leandra, because I have very little imagination. So you should find on your on the second part of everyone's playbooks, there'll be a section where it says your backstory, and we will ask some questions there. So, Leandra, I believe your first. Well, which do you wish to do of your backstories first?
Man, these are some cruel ones. Take 2 strings on your favorite victim. Now, here's kind of the question I'll put out. I mean, the obvious one would be Dorothy, but let's be honest. Does Dorothy even feel like she's a victim of Esme's?
I don't think you've hit hard enough yet.
Yeah, I think it's more obvious that I'm more affected by Dorothy's presence than Dorothy's affected by my presence, for sure. So, because the other question. Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking that I would be kind of a bit of a toady to you since you've been here for so long, so that because I'm copying you, so maybe I'm someone you've hurt, and well, that's just how things go.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm down for that. Partially because the other question in my backstory doesn't really fit Andie, but yeah, I think definitely I probably do consider you my favorite victim. Sorry about that. Should I go on with my second one?
Sorry, still muted. We'll go on to Andie's next one. Yeah, we'll do them round robin style. I think this probably makes sense. So yeah, Andie, if you'd like to do one of your backstory questions. So I'm flipping between multiple different screens here, so I might be.
So I'm sorry, I don't have Monsterhearts, and I'm not seeing on this sheet where the backstory questions are.
I'll give you. There's a link to. Bear with me. I'll put it into the chat. To the shared folder, which has these in. Has the actual
Emerald
playbooks.
City Drama Club Cats.
Yeah, yeah. So the one you want is the hollow skin is in the file reference sheets and core skins. This covers both. Has both the basic moves in it on the first thing, and then the playbooks themselves. So yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that one. It went on a different line in Google Drive, and I didn't click.
No worries. Yeah, no worries. I'll move on to Maria next, and we'll come back to you so you can have a chance to quickly skim over those. Cool. So yeah, no worries. So yeah, Micah, let's hear one of your backstory questions.
All right. Someone reminded me what love was when I thought that death had stolen it away from me forever. Give them a string. I was sort of thinking, like, I don't think Esme would remind me what love was. So I was sort of thinking maybe Dorothy, because Andie's trying to be like Esme. So maybe Dorothy's freshness and love of drama, life. Maybe, I'm not sure if it would necessarily be like romantic love or anything, but maybe just her love of something. I don't know. Does that
crush?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe she's just so pure. I don't know.
But yeah, no, that sounds good to me.
So you get a string on me.
Cool. And yeah, there should just be a space down the character keeper a little way for you to record the strings you have on other people. Cool. So yeah, Marco, have you had a chance to have a look at those now?
Yes, I have. So the first one, I kind of already have stated. Where did it go? It's you've been taking your social cues from someone, and doing so has taught you a lot about them. Gain 2 strings on them. I'm, I'm liking. Is it Esme or Esme, Leander?
I lean towards Esme.
Esme? Esme.
Esme.
Esme. Okay. So that tells me I get 2 strings on you.
Cool, thank you. And Dorothy, what's your backstory like?
All right. I know someone is more than they seem, and I have a pair of really good options for that. But I think I'm going to go for the person who apparently came back from the dead. I don't know that right off the bat, but there is something about you that is real in a way that the rest of this school isn't. So I get 2 more strings on Micah.
So many strings.
And I will actually take this point just to explain strings, because they're quite there's something that's easily missed but quite important in the game. So the way you can use strings when you have a string on someone, you can basically spend one of the strings you have to tempt them to do what you want, and what that means basically is you tell them what you want them to do. And that doesn't have to be kind of an in-character ask. That can just be, you'd say, it would be cool if your character did this thing. And if they do it, then they gain a point of XP. So that's one use for them. You can spend a string on somebody to give them a condition. This is basically a sort of tag on them that tells us something about them. And when you exploit a condition somebody has, you get a +1 to your roll if you can make it relevant to what you're doing. And it also can impose like other story effects on them as well. If like you make somebody unpopular or whatever, it means that they're unlikely to get invited to cool parties, so on and so forth. You can also use them in a slightly more mechanical way. You can spend a string to add 1 to your dice roll when you're acting against that person, or to add 1 harm if you deal harm to them. So that's what strings do essentially. So it's cool to give them, and a couple of moves play about with giving and removing strings, notably turn someone on and shut someone down. Excellent. So background to Esme. Do you have another backstory question in there?
Yeah, my second one is you publicly embarrassed a powerful enemy and they're itching for revenge. Each of you take 1 string on the other. Again, I don't know if Dorothy's itching for any kind of revenge. She doesn't seem the type. I don't know if I want to call Micah a powerful enemy, but I mean,
I can imagine being a different sort of like a powerful in my own way, maybe.
yeah.
Like in my head, maybe I was thinking maybe Micah was one of those people who does drama and like football or some other thing where he has some popularity as well. So I could take that if that works.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I publicly embarrassed you yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Leave it
it's
for now.
one of those worlds where like the musical kids don't get along with the jocks. So
I mean, that sounds tropey enough that it's probably the case. Yeah,
I watched some Glee.
yeah.
Cool. Oh, I'm happy with that. So we take a string on each other.
we can always investigate that embarrassment in play if you want to bring up details later on. That's fine. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Andy, do you have another backstory question you want to ask? Again, you don't need to ask necessarily if you don't want to, but you are more than welcome to.
I do. So, someone has seen through my invented past and realized it's all lies. They gain 2 strings on you. I think it makes the most sense if that's Dorothy, because of the tension between Esme and Dorothy. I think it would be hilarious if they both have strings on me. So Dorothy would gain 2 strings on me. I probably came over to say something shitty to Dorothy, but Dorothy can see both worlds at once, and just, was able to cut through all my bullshit and hit me where it hurts, and maybe didn't even think about it past, shutting me down, but that,
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
do strings represent just any kind of emotional power a person can have over you, right? And they can use it in
That's
different
right.
ways depending on the different character sheets. Okay.
That's right. Yeah,
think
it's kind of an abstraction of just general kind of leverage or insight or esteem or whatever in somebody. Yeah, so it's a sort of intentionally sort of a bit nebulous. But yeah.
Yeah, you came over to shut me down, and the conversation was a lot more enlightening for me than you originally expected. No, I definitely appreciate having strings on both of the characters who are emphatically otherworldly.
Yes, indeed. Brilliant. Micah, how about you? Do you have any more questions you ask?
Who watched me die, or did anyone watch me die? I think it'd be interesting if someone did, but if no one did, that's also fine. I was sort of imagining if this helps, like my death was I did something on a dare, like
Maybe
climb something I shouldn't have.
Previously been following Will around, and so I was spying on Will and happened to see something bad happen to you, and saw Will run off.
I like that.
So what is the result of that? Do I have strings on you?
I have to check. I think so. Oh wait, gain 2 strings on each other.
On each other.
So,
oh, excellent.
I guess I know that you saw me die. Maybe. Unclear. Or maybe the fact that you know that I am dead is emotionally just harrowing.
Yeah.
Maybe when you showed up for drama, you saw how I went terrified that I saw you show up here, because I literally, it's like I just saw a ghost. Right? I saw this person I thought was dead.
It was maybe a terrible accident, but I can play it off that I survived the miracles of technology.
And I like that in real life, I would have addressed it immediately, but I think for Andie, I haven't said anything to you about it or done anything on it, right? So we can have that scene in the future.
Yeah, that sounds good. So yes, so you both get 2 strings on the other, and that brings us back around to Dorothy. Do you have another question you want to ask from your?
It's less a question and more an observation that I'm weird. And basically, if anybody wants to take a shot at me, they can probably find some ammunition to do it. So everybody, have a string on me.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to find there we go. I'm just going to so if you want to look on the I just fiddle about with, does this set the wrong angle? Okay, cool. Yeah, so on the Dramatis Personae list, you'll see there's some NPCs names on there who are playing other roles in the play. So we have Will Leonard, who will be playing the Cowardly Lion, who is an NPC today, as we do not have a 5th player for them. I will just highlight those ones in there. We have Oscar playing the Wizard of Oz. Glinda the Good playing Gillian. Gillian playing Glinda the Good. And Ainsley playing Aunt M. We also have a few sort of groups of NPCs who are playing the Winged Monkeys, the Munchkins, and the Fighting Trees. So the first question, actually, I will begin by asking Esme, is the Winged Monkeys are your gang. They do your bidding and generally, hang around you. What are the Winged Monkeys like? Who are they, and why do they follow you?
They are. I think the main ones we'll probably see is this trio of triplets. I mean, obviously there'll be a trio of triplets. Wait, no, 3 triplets, not a trio of triplets. That'll be like 9 people. Sorry, yeah. I think they're triplets. I think they follow me because they are my sisters. For sure, and I think they look up to me because I'm a senior and I'm obviously very, very cool in their eyes. Also, I need to think of names for them. I think they're probably 2 years younger, so we'll make them just about either sophomores or probably sophomores.
I will nod and smile.
Okay. It's not ominous at all.
No, I can never keep the naming conventions from American schools straight. So you could say anything, and I believe.
Oh, okay. Second years. That's what a sophomore is. Okay. Yeah, and I need to think of names for them. But yes, As far as they know, everything I say is the right thing. As much as Heather. No, that's right. I'll think about it. Heather's good, but like I want to reference more Oz stuff. I'll look through some names.
Brilliant. And yes, you will of course take a string over the winged monkeys, as they are yours to command. They also follow the standard like gang rules, which I believe means that you get a +1 to do stuff if they help you with it. I always forget how the gangs work. Yes, that's right. +1 to rolls and or harm as appropriate. Cool. So just look at my list of questions. Yeah, so Andie. What rumor did you hear about Oscar that has to be false?
Could you remind me about Oscar again, so I can?
Oscar is playing the Wizard of Oz in the play. That's all we know about him at the moment.
And I know something that's false about Oscar.
Oh, you've heard a rumor about him that you certainly don't believe.
Yeah, I need some help. Can maybe somebody suggest something that I can work with?
Sure. What
He got arrested for marijuana possession.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah.
Is it possible that maybe Esme had one of the gang planted on him? So I know he's innocent because I saw one of Esme's gang members. Now I don't know if Esme sent him to do it, but maybe I saw one of the monkeys plant the drugs on him. So I know Oscar was innocent, but
I like that. I think yeah, I like that a lot. I think that works. Cool. So I think
does that provide strings
it
one way or the
does.
other?
So I think you will gain a string on both Oscar and the winged monkeys, but I think Oscar will also gain a string on you.
Does that mean he knows I know?
I think it's not necessarily. I think maybe that he knows that you know, but maybe you feel some sort of sense of guilt, perhaps, or perhaps he does know.
Oh,
but yeah, I think we can kind of.
Yeah. Guilt. I like that. Yeah, so he can manipulate me even without knowing about it. He can manipulate me easily because I go good.
Yeah. Cool. So. Micah, how has actually I'm going to change the name for who would be Will, just to avoid the whole in character out of character confusion thing. Leo, but how has Leo changed dramatically in the last few days?
Are you seeing just letters right now, David, in the screen?
Yes, I am. Yep.
We might have. It looks like we desynced with North America.
Right. That would explain it.
I'll just refresh this.
North America.
Yeah, I can hear everyone who isn't David.
Basically.
Are we back?
Okay. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
I heard
Yeah, I think we
nothing
had
of what you said.
Right. Yeah, I think we had a brief server issue there.
Continental disc.
Yeah, it happened the other day as well, actually. But
Weird.
yeah. So the what I was saying is, yeah, I've just changed the character who would be Will's name to Leo, just to avoid confusion between our Will and the in character Will.
Okay.
But yes, so my question was, how has Leo changed kind of dramatically in the past few days?
This is at the timeline since I died and came back.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
I think we were best friends.
Yep.
But since I've come back, he hasn't like talked to me. He won't even look at me. Like, it's not even just like a gradual distance. Like, he just doesn't engage anymore, which is like, if I came back from the hospital, you'd think he'd come talk to me, but
awesome. Yeah, that's harsh. I think yeah, no, that's cool. And I think that he is going to gain a string on you for that. Cool. And finally, Dorothy. Who does Mr. Fleming, the director, seem to pay the most attention to, and why?
During rehearsals, you mean, or just in general?
It's probably specifically during rehearsals, in general as well. But that's probably the time you have the most interaction with him.
Let's see. I think he is putting redoubled attention on Esme because he's trying to, she's one of the senior members of the troupe, and he's not happy with the performance that he's getting out of her because it seems like her mind is elsewhere. So not only does she not have the role of Dorothy, but she's also getting flack from the director, who just doesn't quite he's wanting to out of her.
Yeah, that sounds good. And Esme, how do you feel about that?
Normally I would be flattered, but it's kind of par for the course, and really it just feels like Mr. Fleming's trying to show face, even though he made a colossal mistake with the casting. Right now, I'm just feeling sour about this.
Sure thing. So yeah, again, I think I will have you and Mr. Fleming each take a string on each other. Sorry, Esme, that is. Actually, no, I will also, Dorothy, I will also give you a string on Mr. Fleming, because you are, after all, the star of the show. Cool. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that gives us enough to get going with. So we've been at it for about an hour and a half now. So I will call a break here. We'll call this. I'll say 10 minutes. So yeah, till 22, and we'll get things kicked off then with our first scene. I'll probably do. Actually, I'll chat about that when we get back. So yeah, I'll see you all in about 10 minutes.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick road. You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is a wizard of Wiz, if ever a Wiz there was. If ever a Wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, I've completely lost my train of thought. So yeah, what I would think we'll do is we'll start off with a scene at rehearsal. But what I would like to do first is just to go around and get a brief sort of vignette of. So I think the rehearsal is happening, at the end of the school day. So I'd just like to get from each of you just a kind of a vignette of what we see of your characters sort of as they're sort of on their way to or just before rehearsal. Esme, where do we see Esme before rehearsal, and how does she make her way there?
I think as soon as the last class ends, and she packs away the rest of her stuff in her locker, stuff she doesn't need, including the script because she's memorized it. I think it's a lot of like very purposeful, like walking and talking. I think we kind of like get like kind of far away shots of her like stalking the high school corridors on the way towards the rehearsal space, and like probably her sisters probably chattering in a fashion most winged monkey like. That's not an adjective. Or an adverb. I'm forgetting what words I'm using. And I think she's kind of. It looks like she's kind of like the center of it, and she lets like her sisters chatter over her, but like whenever she says something, it's always kind of like purposeful. So it's not like they stop to listen, but like they do pay attention. And I think like she moves with like this like I would say like decisiveness, but also a bit of defensiveness, almost like she's wary of unexpected anything that could like just blow in her path and mess up her day. Her day's been all right so far, but it's time for rehearsals, and rehearsals kind of become quite bittersweet for her. So I think there's definitely I think definitely she's a bit guarded. I've noted her eyes as predatory, and I think that's exactly kind of like what her demeanor is.
Brilliant, thank you. Yes, so Andie, what do we see of them as they are sort of finishing up lessons for the day and making their way to rehearsal?
I think Andie is helping Oscar with the makeup and the wizard controls, because Oscar is working with the controls and the stage hands, trying to get that to work correctly. And at the same time, I have to get his own personal, costume and makeup straightened while he's doing something else. And while all that's going on, I'm badly trying to be like flirtatious and telling him that how I believe him and how it sucks that they kicked him out of ROTC, which is not what he really wants to be talking about just before a performance. But I'm blathering on.
Cool. I think that I will have you roll to turn him on. We'll see how this goes. As you are being flirtatious there. So the way this works is, let's say if you select your 2 dice in the roll for your party and click submit reroll. Click where is it? Reroll selected, the big green button. That's the one. That will roll the dice for you, and then you add that to your hot stat, and we will see what you get.
You're muted.
That would have been a full hit, but I'm really bad at expressing myself in that manner. So I brought it down to from a 10 to a 9 because I have a -1.
Yep, that's fine. So on turn somebody on a 7 to 9, they can either give you a string or choose one of the following reactions: to give themselves to you, to promise you something they think you want, or to get embarrassed and act awkward. And I think in this case, he is going to get embarrassed and act awkward, as he's as you're sort of helping him. He says, "Look, Andy, it's fine. Just honestly, I didn't really like hanging out with those guys anyway. It's fine, and thanks for having my back." And he's sort of blushing a bit, and he's I think he kind of maybe gets like the hem of his sleeve caught in the sort of lever thing that he's got to operate the big, pyrotechnic-y stuff that's supposed to go on. He sort of fiddles about freeing himself from that. And we will move on to Micah. How does Micah's day look as he's coming to a rehearsal?
I think right after classes, he's the type of guy that would just like slam his locker shut, like stuff his things in, and then like slam it. And then I think he lounges there for a while, just like leaning against the lockers, kind of just watching everyone else walk by. If I go, I think I'm just going to roll with like he's also a jock, and he's just going to be like playing with a football in his hand, and like waving hello to his buddies. Like if Essie stalks by, oh yeah, he calls Esme Essie because he knows it annoys her. So if she stalks by, he's going to be like, hey, and then just like glare at her as if she doesn't react. But I think he's kind of just like goofing off until rehearsal starts. And if maybe his locker is like right next to Leo's. And I think he might be hoping for Leo to show up at some point. Like that might be his whole reason for just putting on a front and like standing by his locker. But yeah, he's just like, I don't have anything to do. I'm just gonna, stand here and act cool, or try to. You're muted.
So I am. So yeah, and I think that's cool. I think, and I think, yeah, as you're waiting, Leo does turn up. He's probably a bit sort of tall and gangly, and he's got like big, like curly blonde hair, all over the place. He's probably got a bit of that kind of skater look going on, though he doesn't actually skateboard because he's just not very good at it and doesn't really have the nerve. But he comes up and he does that thing where he's obviously like he's going to go to his locker and put his stuff away, but he's quite pointedly like not trying not to make eye contact with you.
I just gonna like put my body sort of between him and his locker, like cross my arms and just be like, hey, bro.
Can I just get to my locker? Shouldn't you be at rehearsal already?
I'll look at the clock and be like, not for another 30 seconds. I can sprint that. What's up? Why haven't you? You just haven't said anything to me? Are you ignoring me for some reason?
Look, I've had some stuff about you, and I just think it's best we don't like hang out, okay? can I just get my stuff away? We like.
Um,
And I think actually I'm going to at that point spend spend his string on you to give you the condition rejected.
so harsh. Should I just write that down in the notes?
Yeah, I think there's a space just under the stats,
Oh,
if I remember
found it.
correctly.
Yep.
But yeah, you can just write it there. And yeah, basically, as I said, what this means is that I can either, you know, people can use that when someone like does something that kind of pushes on that, you can roll with +1. It might allow me to sort of introduce some story stuff to get rid of a condition. Either you can do something that would narratively sort of get deal with that particular condition and sort of how you got it. So in this case, because you've been rejected, maybe if you know hooked up with someone else, you might be able to lose the rejected condition, or alternatively, someone can kind of tend to you and help you remove it. But yeah, that's. But yes.
Okay.
He's going to kind of stand there, and I think he's going to fold his arms as well and sort of wait for you to move out of the way.
And I think like that actually might hurt a little. So I think like some of my bravado kind of like wrinkles or shrivels.
Cool.
And so I think I'll like step and probably look at the clock and be like, fine, we'll go to rehearsal.
Yeah, and yeah, you're sort of, you can hear like him unlocking his locker behind you and sort of closing it, and you can tell like as you're walking away, you can tell that he's like deliberately like waiting at the locker for a few moments, so you're sort of gone before he turns around. Cool. And finally, Dorothy, what do we see of you?
We see Dorothy in the last few minutes of biology class. The professor or the teacher is discussing amphibians and general locomotion of amphibians and classification. And she's got her binder open to a blank page, and she is doodling a demon toad eating a skyscraper. And she is basically not paying like she's sort of staring off into the middle distance or staring down at her drawing. She's not paying any attention to the lecture. And the bell rings. She packs up her stuff just quietly and files out along with everybody else. But as we watch her cross the campus to the theater, her steps start taking a skip to them. And she just starts moving with more and more energy and enthusiasm. And she's skipping across campus in a way that is possibly dangerous for her popularity. I mean, she's already got a reputation for being weird, and she's just sort of in her own enthusiastic space right now. And it's probably not helping her look cool, but she's the last person to care about that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's well, I suppose that by definition isn't cool, but however, I like it. So yeah, I think she's skipping along, and there's there's like buttercups blooming in the grass, and it's nice, and it's a nice sunny day. So yeah, it's quite a pleasant day for skipping through the grass, even if such is not considered the height of cool in the school. No, in fact, I'm just going to give you the condition straight up: uncool. Because
excellent.
Yeah, I could have you roll to I could have you roll to keep your cool, but you're clearly not in any way trying not to avoid the consequences of your actions. So yeah, that's perfectly good. So yes, you will all arrive in the auditorium, and this is like a proper it's a proper full-on sort of theatre here. I didn't actually copy out the like little diagram from the book. I could faff about with screen sharing, but I'm not going to. But it's so it does actually have like when you come in through the front door, it does have like a proper foyer and ticket sales, and there's a bar and all that sort of thing, like a real theatre sort of thing, and proper like auditorium seating and a big stage with all the sort of with the orchestra pit and the bit above the stage and all that stuff. It's a like a professional grade theatre essentially here. It's not just a few blocks set up in the sports hall. It's and as you all arrive, so yeah, you will all make your way here, and I think it's probably it will probably be a few minutes still until Mr. Fleming arrives. He is very much one of those directors who doesn't like to make his entrance until everyone is here. So yeah, I guess I will give you an opportunity here to have either a sort of an ensemble scene as you all get together, or if you want to kind of meet up with individual characters. Andie.
So I think after the awkward conversation with Oscar ended, and this being a dress rehearsal, and Micah didn't get here really on time because of what happened in the hall. So I'm going to go for this almost the same move because I'm unoriginal, and I'm offering to help Micah get dressed, but I'm going to do it in kind of such an awkward butly aggressive way that you need to either let me try to help you or you're going to have to hurt me.
So is it like,
how do we, you know what I mean? So I don't know how to do that in the game, but I'm trying to kick out my move if I either help somebody or they hurt me. So I want to push for that outcome by offering to help Micah get dressed in the Tin Man gear.
yeah, so I'm imagining there's like probably like shoving my limbs into like weird like shiny cardboard, plastic, whatever gauntlet things, and like there's probably face paint involved, so you're probably like jabbing things into my eyes.
Tinfoil around cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I think I'm just seeing here. So yeah, what you'd need to do is essentially. So strange impressions. That's when a main character either harms you or helps you heal. So that's.
It kind of sounded to me that Micah was allowing me to try to heal. So is there a role that I would do to clear a condition?
I mean, I feel like Mike is probably not that appreciative of.
So you think you'd bite my head off and reject my assistance?
I feel like it's like the thing where like if someone's trying to help you dress, but it's not going very well, there's kind of like a pushing, like a swatting around thing. So
yeah. So yeah, if you want to, Micah, you can.
Is that a shutdown?
Or you could roll
Or
to lash out physically if you want to if you actually want to physically like shove him, shove them away.
yeah, okay. I think I am
You're
actually
way bigger
literally,
than me because you're on the football team, and
yeah.
I'm a
Well,
I'm a
high school
little
football, so
I'm a little toady kid though. Still,
well, let's see. What do I have? I'll roll.
So yeah,
That's
to lash out physically, it's a roll with volatile.
oh no, I'm a terrible football player. That's a 5.
You're
'Cause I
just not
rolled
a fan of actually hurting people.
apparently maybe I'm like, oh, I'm fast. Maybe I'm one of those, like, I don't know football very well, but like there's the fast people. I'm a kicker. That's what I am. Like,
Cool. So yeah, no, I think what will happen is you will shove Micah,
Andie.
Andie, away from
Yeah,
you
sorry.
as they're trying to help you get dressed. And Andie does, I think Andie like stumbles backwards, trips over probably like one of the like drain pipes that it forms part of your costume. It goes underneath her feet. Andie falls backwards and knocks the back of their head on the stage floor. I think there's it probably does bleed a little bit. So if you'd like to take me 1 harm, please, Andie. And that does obviously allow you to activate your move. However,
how do I
as
improve the harm? Is there that 0 of 4, and I move it to 1 of 4?
yes, that's right. Yep. So I lose track of how the difference is. But that's right. Yeah, just move up to 1 of 4. And oh yes, sorry, and yes, because you failed, I see you've just done that, Micah. But yeah, because you failed a roll, you get to mark XP for that. So that's cool. And then, but yes, as you knock Andie over, as you knock Andie over Micah, you will notice that Leo has just entered the room, and he is just like staring at you in like proper full-on shock, and he just turns around and walks out again.
If you break that costume, the stagecraft crew is going to have it in for all of us.
Is that to Micah or to Andie?
That's to Andie, I think. Though she then tilts her head a bit and goes, "Are you bleeding?"
It's not bad, but can you help me? I want the move, the hunger, from Micah's sheet, as my when a main character harms you or heals you, I study them with wide eyes, and then I temporarily gain one of their skin moves. So the hunger, I have a hunger for love, and so when Dorothy comes to help, I guess I'm gonna pursue that. As you know, when she looked, just that moment of, oh, somebody had concern for me and didn't just blow me off.
You got to be
So
really careful about head wounds. I mean, you don't watch out. That's going to bleed a lot. Here. Let me let's get some napkins from the bathroom, I guess.
And I think Micah is just like, they'll be fine. It's head wounds always bleed more than like they need to, really.
So Dorothy is certainly willing to care for Andie, and make sure that and tend to your wounds.
So Andie's gonna try to turn Dorothy on while we're doing that. So I use because I have the hunger move from Micah's sheet. So I'm heedlessly pursuing that hunger at the when you're taking care of me.
Sorry, I was unmuted again. No, that's cool. How does I think we'll see. So I think you've gone off to the bathroom.
Yeah, it takes me into the bathroom, and as that's going on, I think I'm gonna make a physical advance when we get really close. While cleaning something up.
Yeah. Maybe like you put your hand over Dorothy's or something like that.
Yeah,
cool. If you'd like to roll with hot, and as you say, you get a plus one on
really
that.
Bad. And minus one on it. Oh, right. So then it's at a 0.
Sorry. Yeah.
Still a miss, though.
Enjoy your XP.
Yep. This will. Let's see. So I think. I think what we'll have here is. I think for now I'm just going to give Dorothy another string on Andie. I think Dorothy, it's obvious to you that Andie is trying to make a move on you here. You can feel free to react to that however you wish, but yeah, it's an obvious ploy.
I think she sort of twists her facial expression a bit wryly and says to you, "You're just." She shakes her head and smiling says, "You're just going through the motions."
That sounds like you're shutting them down to me.
Seems legit. I don't think cool is my. No, cold is absolutely not my stat.
Excellent. Yes, that is a roll.
That is also a miss.
Perfect. I think that at that point we will have
So what does that mean if you fail to shut somebody down?
So it can mean different things, really. I mean, it's basically here just like her words aren't really having any real impact on Andie, obviously, at least certainly not in any mechanical way. I think what I will do here. Actually, no. I'll do the same again. I think what I will do instead is I will give Andie, you can choose one off of the shut someone down list. So you can choose to either cause Dorothy to lose a string on you, If Dorothy doesn't have any strings and you gain one of them, though she does in this case, so that's not applicable. Give Dorothy a condition, or you can just take one forward to your next roll. As again, just like the words just don't have the impact on you that Dorothy intended them to have.
If you have, is it possible to have more than 1+1 forward on the same die roll?
Yes, potentially. Depending on the sources, I believe it is.
So, and how do you? So you've just given me a +1, or you've not given me a string. You gave me a +1 forward.
You can choose to take a +1 forward, or you can choose to gain a string on Dorothy. Sorry, no, you can't choose to gain a string on Dorothy, but you can choose to get rid of one of Dorothy's strings on you, or you can give Dorothy a condition. It's a choice of one of those three things. You can only gain a string on them if they don't already have one on you. So.
So I have try harder next time.
Yeah.
When you screw up, you give yourself an appropriate condition and take +1 forward. So I want to turn, keep going on this by making a more bold advance to Dorothy, because she didn't really push me away that much, and try it again. But this time I have +2 on the roll.
Sure thing. That's that. If people are cool with that, then yeah, that's fine by me.
Is that okay with Dorothy? Yeah. Like I know
She's
it's
not
like it's getting towards, like, I don't want it to get like creepy, but it's, you know what I mean? They're monsters.
She's humoring you.
Yeah. Okay. That turns my 8 into a 10. But I need an appropriate condition. Where are conditions?
So conditions, you can just make them up. I'd say maybe a good condition for the circumstance you got it in would be perhaps obvious, or yeah.
Thirsty, yeah.
Yeah.
Obvious, or yeah, thirsty. And then
oh yeah.
Look at the...
So yes, on a 10 up on turn somebody on, you gain a string on Dorothy, and then Dorothy gets to choose one of the responses from that list. So give themselves to you, promise you something they think you want, or get embarrassed and act awkward.
I'm going to swerve a bit here. And if this doesn't, if David, if you don't feel like this fulfills turn someone on, let me know. But I'm going to twirl a bit towards the bathroom door and say, "Do you want to see something? If you want to see something real, come along. Let's go back to rehearsal." And she's got this mischievous grin on her face. And I am spending a string on you to suggest that this is what you want.
Yeah, that sounds fair. That sounds like a fair promise to me.
And what I want is for you to come. Yeah. Dorothy has made up her mind that she's going to see if she can bring Andie with her when she goes to rehearsal.
Yeah, that sounds good. Cool. So I think we'll come back to that in a moment.
I'm sorry, but did my harm get healed by?
Yes, and your harm will also have been healed by the ministrations. Yes, that's fine. You can mark that off.
So
and in fact,
do I
you can
get to pick one of Dorothy's things clear.
You do indeed. You do indeed.
Because I'm going to start copying Dorothy then.
You also mark experience if you take Dorothy's hand and leave. If you as a player commit to getting yanked into Oz, then you mark experience.
Yeah. Cool.
That's the second one, but I don't know where to add it. Sorry.
That's under advancement is experience. Yeah. I think it's cool. So perfect. So I think we will cut back over to Esme. So you've turned up for rehearsal. Obviously, you may or may not have seen the kerfuffle on stage. I will leave that up to you.
Oh, I got there first, and I was already changed into my costume, and I think I walked out and saw said kerfuffle, and I saw that Minx Dorothy take Andie away to the bathroom. I was like, oh, God, but I think I kind of like go up to Micah. I said, go up, march up, and just say like, what the hell was that?
And Micah, I think, is just like angrily smearing on like the gray face paint. He's like, I don't know, like Andie just fails at applying makeup.
And that merited you shoving them down because of some failure in applying makeup, which, as far as failures go, I'd say is pretty minor.
I didn't do that much. I just, moved. It's not my fault. They don't particularly have stable standing.
Yeah, it's not their fault when someone else shoves them down to the ground. Yes, I see how this works then, Micah. Any particular reason why you're in such a pissy mood?
No.
No.
I think that's probably also a shut them down.
A shutdown. Yeah, I think so.
We'll hit that and then see how the conversation proceeds.
Yeah, shut someone down, which is my main thing.
Wait,
look at all that code. Oh, who's doing the shutdown?
Oh yeah,
I thought it was me.
Oh, I thought that was more.
Or is it Esme?
Esme there, yeah, with the.
Oh, okay.
I'd accept either, though. To be honest,
yeah. Both of us are throwing
mutual shutdown.
Mutually assured shutdown. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, I'll roll anyway.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Are there witnesses?
I would not. I'm going to assume that your sisters are probably in the immediate vicinity, if no one else. And there's likely to be other people around as well. But yeah, definitely, I think your sister. I will always assume your sisters are around unless you tell me otherwise, because that's to be the case.
Oh my God! Well, that means this move I've got fires off.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably like around this.
Just come skipping out of the bathroom, hand in hand.
I think this is happening around the same time. You two are like failing towards getting together. I guess that's what happened in that bathroom.
Failing forward.
Yes. Yeah.
The PBTA magic. I think this conversation is happening at the same time that's happening. But yeah, so I've got witnesses. So I have a +1 to this roll. Let's see. I rolled 5, 6, 7. A 7 + 2 is a 9 + 1 is a 10. And if I roll a 10 up, they lose 1 intangible possession.
Ooh!
Wow,
Ooh.
that's amazing. And you don't get it back until you successfully shut someone down or lash out physically or assert your dominance. If it's okay with you, Micah, I think you are going to lose your. Let's see. Kind of like. I do get a feeling people kind of see Micah as like, this kind of like mysterious, broody jock. But I think I think you're going to lose a bit that reputation. You're going to seem like a bit more of a brute, just not cool,
Hmm.
more thug like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I still get.
So
Oh.
I'm losing my reputation. Is that essentially like
Yes.
how other people see me?
Yes. And also I still get the pick from the shut someone down. Sorry. You know what? I lose that string on me. You can
Okay.
use a string. Oh, yeah, that one string.
It's the only string I have. Alas.
Oh.
More public embarrassment.
And then I think I don't know what's Micah say to you?
I think physically he deflates a little because his like default is to be like puffed up, like, and I think he kind of like mutters out of like the corner of his mouth something so that maybe only Esme can hear, like kind of like if something just about kind of snarky about how he doesn't know his own strength. Like he tries to play it off as like an accident that he pushed Micah away. It was sort of like a cover up for like being a brute, maybe.
I think Esme will hear that and she kind of just like scoff. And she says something along the lines of, "Oh, come on, Micah, have a little heart." Just, you're not going to solve anything by just shoving people away, as much fun as that is. Why don't you just let it out what exactly is bugging you? And I'm going to pull a string on you. So basically what this means is that I'm basically asking you to tell me what's up. If you do it, you're going to get XP.
Okay. And it's just like, you know, Leo's just, I don't know, like, Leo's not here. Have you seen how we're missing our Scarecrow? And he hasn't spoken to me in like 3 days.
Do you two have a bit of a tiff or something?
I don't know. Just, you know, just stop talking to me. Like, I was gone for like that day, you know, but after that, just ignoring me.
God, you boys and your drama.
Excuse me, Miss Drama Queen. I've been around for like the last 3 years. I've heard you talking about this play every year. Gets around, you know.
I think that's probably another shutdown there.
Yep.
That's an 11 plus my. Is it cool?
Cool for shutdown.
Yeah, that's a 13. Anyway.
Jesus.
So yeah, on a success with shut someone down, you get 2. On a 10 up, you just on a 10 up, you just choose one from below without any penalty. So you can make them lose a string on you. If they don't have any strings on you, you can gain one on them. You can give them a condition, or you can take +1 forward to your next roll, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be involving the person who you shut down. It's just kind of a confidence boost, essentially.
I want you to take a condition.
Join the condition club.
Yeah, join the condition club. And I think I want it to be like that you're needy, or like you need that attention and like that validation. I don't know if there's a better word for that than just needy.
No, needy's good. I think it's fairly obvious. Like she's inserting herself into something that doesn't really concern her. So.
Yeah, that's great, and that will also, I believe, go to gaining your reputation back a bit, as you sort of, if I've read Leandra's move correctly.
Oh.
You successfully shut her down.
Yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking out loud about what that meant. Looking at your move.
Yeah. So you didn't. So you lost and gained your reputation in like a minute, which is good. I don't know. There's probably, I think at this point maybe like a bunch of the other NPCs are probably gathered to see this.
Yeah, I think the whole cast is probably assembled by this point, because it's rehearsal is about to start for real sort of thing. So yeah, there's a bigger audience for this, and you've got that thing where probably more people saw this part of the exchange than saw the previous bit. So a lot of people kind of brilliant. So I think Mr. Fleming will sweep in down the aisle. He has he's dressed in like a long flowing shirt. He's probably got like a green scarf draped around his shoulders, and he'll say, "Well, darlings, it is time for us to begin our rehearsal. Places." And we will take another quick break there. We'll just take about 5 minutes this time, and we'll see you back after the break.
Pat, pat here, pat, pat there, and a couple of brand new straws. That's how we keep you young and fair in the merry old land of Oz. Rub, rub here, rub there, whether you're tin or bras. That's how we keep you in repair in the merry old land of Oz.
We can make a dimple smile out of a frown. Can you even dye my eyes to match my gown? Uh-huh. Jolly old town. Clip, clip, there, clip, clip, there. We give the roughest claw.
That Satan heir of savoir faire in the merry old land of Oz.
That's how we have the day away in the merry old land of Oz.
And there we go. Excellent. Welcome back, everyone. So where were we? So yes. Mr. Fleming will make his appearance, and the rehearsal will begin. I'll say that the bit that you're working on at the moment is the scene where the flying monkeys attack and drag Dorothy. Drag Toto away, and mostly because it will involve all of you being on set at once. How does this look as you're all there? As the scene sort of plays out, is there anything any of you want to do as a part of it?
I don't know if there's anything to do. I think it's just color. I think Esme is channeling her frustration at what just happened into the scene. So there's just a lot of like very vigorous cackling. That's a weird combination of words. And the broomstick is kind of being jabbed, maybe a bit too hard at pretty much anyone who comes close to the broomstick, um, including the I assume the paper mache dog that is Toto, because I don't know if this school can afford to have a real dog on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably well, maybe there will be like on the night, but for now it is just like a stuffed toy in a basket. Yeah.
That's not going to go disastrous at all. I'm training this dog. You're muted, Will.
I was going to say everybody gets upstaged by the dog on performance night.
How don't Esme know that?
I think Andy, in an attempt to copy Dorothy, is being extremely method, and even when the scene's not going on, I'm doing the whole straw man bit and answering everyone in character, even when there's nothing going on stage. And I keep looking over to Esme to see if Esme notices that I'm hanging on Dorothy.
Cool.
Dorothy is eating that up, by the way.
Excellent. So I guess my question here is, do you either Esme, how are you reacting to this, or Andie, do you want to offer Esme a string? Well, spend a string to tempt Esme into reacting to this in some way.
Yes, I want to spend the string. That's how I do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You could either offer an XP or just put a condition on Esme. But I think in this case, the temptation might be a more effective way.
Offer XP. So, are you able to do both? Like, I don't know the rules of the game. Oh, if you have two strings, you spend two of them, and then you could do either or. But I'm just going to spend one and say, hey, here, dangle an XP to so now, to make you react to this. I want you to reveal that you're jealous somehow.
Okay, here's what happened. I think in the scene, which is probably choreographed surprisingly well, Mr. Fleming is a man of the craft. There's probably like a lot of blocking tape on the stage, so we're going. I think what happens is Esme to get a bit too vigorous with the broom and will kind of lash out at Dorothy.
Oh, interesting.
Nice. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. Roll with volatile.
Right.
Or if you have, I keep forgetting what moves you have.
I just get extra stuff if I succeed in certain moves, like shut someone down or lash out violently, lash out physically. Okay, roll this. That is an 8. I only have one string on Dorothy. I'm not really tagging her uncool. I'm just going to hit her in the face.
That doesn't seem like that's a particularly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. You could probably make a very, very strained argument for it, but it's not. It's not immediately apparent.
Yeah, I don't want to make that argument. Well, with a success, I can give her another condition because you can have more than one. so that people have options to tag. I once saw someone get 6 conditions. It was amazing. I think you were there as well, David. Okay, so I think actually let's do the lash out physically first. So I think I see Andie getting really close to Dorothy. So I think I think Esme lets out like a cackle that's a bit too strained, and it's kind of like directing winged monkeys traffic, and just as she's swinging the broom a bit too hard, and it's gonna smack Dorothy in the face. And let's see, on a 7 to 9, I harm them, but I have to choose one. Okay. I think I'll choose they'll learn something about my true nature and gain a string.
That sounds good. And yes, Dorothy, I think we'll probably just take 1 harm from being hit with the broom. It's not like a bladed weapon or anything of the like, but it probably does. Depending on how you want it to it's either going to bruise, or you may even have a bit of a nosebleed or a split lip or something.
Andie is going to say, "That's brilliant. We should do it that way on show night. That was amazing."
I am sullenly rubbing my lip.
I think. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe when Esme does that, Micah has been swinging the axe around at the winged monkeys, to keep them away from Toto, right? But I think maybe the shock of the broomstick connecting with Dorothy's face shocks Micah a little, and he lets go of the axe while swinging. So I don't know, it's an accidental lash out physically, maybe.
Yeah, no, that I like that a lot. Let's see that roll. So yeah,
I don't know who the target's going to be though.
I think if we assume that he's targeting the winged monk. Oh, I was going to say winged monkeys, because that's who he was actually.
Yeah, it's true.
Going after, but then we'll see what the move happens and how that actually comes out.
I'm awful at lashing out physically. That's a 6 minus 1, I believe. I need to remember what my. Yeah, that's a 5.
Okay.
Experience.
So I think at this point, Mr. Fleming storming up onto the stage and saying, "Children, please try and keep this thing under control. We've only got another week before we have to perform. If you can't," and that's at the point where the axe flies out of your hand and it catches him square between the eyes, and he just drops like a sack of potatoes onto the stage.
I think there's a bark of laughter that kind of comes out of Micah's mouth, ha ha ha.
I'm gonna walk up to Mr. Fleming. Let's see, how's he doing?
So yeah, you can see there's a trickle of blood running down his forehead where this is, like I said, caught in between the eyes, and it's obviously left a mark. It's not a sharp axe, but it's relatively heavy and weighted sort of thing. I imagine it actually has like a proper, it has like a pickaxe handle essentially with a sort of maybe
foamy thing,
blade on top. But yeah, there's also you can see some blood pooling under the back of his head where he's clearly hit his head going down as well.
I think I'll probably yell at one of the NPCs we don't care about. Gillian, sure, there we go. I'll probably yell at her to go get the nurse.
Do you? I round on Micah and say, "Do you even have a brain in there? We can't. You can't bludgeon our director a week before the show?
Look, I'm sure Micah didn't mean it. He just had a lot in his mind recently, right, Micah?
I'm just like, oh shit, is he okay? Like, I mean, it was an accident. Maybe if Esme didn't whack you in the face, Dorothy. By the way, are you okay?
I'm fine. I can act like this. I don't have a problem. But without our director, how are we going to have rehearsals?
He'll be fine, right?
Let's hope. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I'm actually in a well, no, I think I will just make this clear. Esme, you do of course realize that if that Mr. Fleming clearly is showing favoritism towards Dorothy throughout this whole thing, and if someone has to replace him as director, then that wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, would it? I think, yeah. I think Esme kind of like said, well, whatever the case, and however you're feeling, Micah, I think it's kind of clear that Mr. Fleming probably won't be around to direct. We'll have to get someone else.
Well, if Mr. Fleming's not going to be around to direct, then we're going to have to take up the slack ourselves. Has Mr. Fleming, is like somebody taking him off to get medical attention?
So someone, Gillian's gone to get the school nurse. He is still currently, it would appear, lying unconscious on the stage.
Yeah, we should probably do something about that.
Can I get I don't know, a prop mirror or someone's glasses and hold it up to his face to see if he's breathing? If the fog shows up, or is he dead?
That sounds good. I'd like you for that. If you could roll me a gaze into the abyss. So yes, that's a roll with dark.
Okay, so I got a 4.
Oh.
Okay. So
are we going to Oz yet?
So I think there's a mirror on the stage. In fact, it's probably what's used in place of the crystal ball for the Wicked Witch. Because I think it also, as well as being a mirror, it's kind of got a thing up, so it has a little projection thing going on as well, so you can sort of see other things in it. And you hold the mirror up to his face, and the at first it very much appears that the mirror is not fogging up until it does so suddenly in it does sort of mist up, but rather than the kind of condensation that you'd normally get on a mirror, it's like it's got a reddish sheen to it, this like reddish fog on the mirror, and that fog starts to roll out around your feet, around all of your feet. It covers the stage and starts spiraling around you. and then for a moment, the only thing that all of you can see is this red smoke spinning around you, and then it slowly descends again. And I think actually, yeah, I will have here if Andie, again, if you can roll me the Terabithia move that you borrowed from Dorothy, and we will see how
So
this
that
goes.
was through the looking glass.
Oh, sorry, no, through the looking glass. Sorry, yeah, I've got the two names. Two names confused. Yep, through the looking glass. Quite literally in this case.
Roll with dark again. I had to double check that I'm not muted. So that's a 6. Unless maybe Dorothy is close enough by to help me, because she's been leading me through before. So maybe her presence being nearby, she could either roll to assist or just do nothing and let it go awry.
I can spend a string to. Is there an aiding mechanic that?
There is not. No. So I think what will happen is, I mean, in many ways, it doesn't materially change things. It's just you, as the smoke descends, you will find yourselves in a dark forest. The trees are gnarled and almost seem to have faces on them. And Esme, you still have your broomstick in hand, but it almost feels like it's got a pulse. There's something to it. And Dorothy, as you look down, the kind of sequined shoes that you were wearing feel heavier, and there is the gemstones on them gleam in a way that they didn't before. But this is more familiar to you than to the others, and you're going to kind of you're going to be kind of slightly less disoriented by this this sudden shift. But you have never traveled over to Oz with, well, possibly with anyone before, but certainly not with this many people. I will say Leo is also here. And I think the things the other two of you will notice is Andie, you will feel almost completely weightless. You feel loose and flexible, but yeah, almost like there's nothing to you. And Micah, the sort of outfit you've got on now feels heavy and cold and like real, like you're encased in real metal. You're still you under it, but it's kind of binding you like a suit of armor. Leo has also come across, and his you can see that the ears seem to be growing out of his head, and his tail is actually twitching slightly as he stood there. And he looks absolutely terrified and freaked out by what's going on.
Is Mr. Fleming here?
No, Mr.
Or-
Fleming is not here. The winged monkeys will also be here. They are now, as you might expect, they're winged monkeys.
I think Micah will probably pick up the axe from wherever it fell.
Yes, the axe has come across with you. It feels heavier, and it glints as you pick it up.
I'll just look around and just be like, what the actual, like, what the hell?
I round on Esme and I say, "Okay, hotshot, you wanted to take a swing at me? You feel like you have something to prove to me? Well, here we are. Let's have at it."
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Is this what you wanted?
Hold on, I need to give Dorothy a condition as well. It's part of that move. I forgot to do it. I think
Nope.
flustered. I was thinking like synonyms to grounded, because clearly we're seeing like Dorothy crack a bit, but flustered sounds good for the moment.
Yep, that sounds good.
I think you round on Esme, and I think Esme kind of like just her face kind of splits into this like ugly sneer, and she starts kind of like waving the broomstick around and says, "You think this is what I wanted? You think this, me being this and you being here, this is what I wanted, huh? You think I want to be the one who's hated, the one who's bitter, the one who dies? You think my plan is to bring you to this story and cast myself as the evil wicked witch, huh? No. You know what happens to the wicked witch? Yeah, she dies and is unmourned and unloved, while you get all your fucking friends and your fucking citizens to raise you up and learn some fucking moral story about growing up or whatnot. That's what you get. That's what I want. Not this. Not you." I think is that a shutdown?
I think that is.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll that. It's the best stat. 6. Okay. It's an 8. I'll stick with the 8. Yeah, sorry. It's on the shutdown on a 79. Choose from below, but I'm going to come across poorly, so I'm going to get condition return. Gee, I wonder how I came across poorly. I think I'm just going to take a +1 forward. Actually, no. Hold on. Does Dorothy have strings on me? Yes. Oh, yeah. You're going to lose that string. Yeah, but but you're gonna give me a condition.
All right. I would say your condition is unmasked.
Yeah, so I do look like a wicked witch, don't I? Ooh, unmasked, wicked. I've not done anything wicked yet. I may have implied that the director it'd be fine for Mr. Fleming to be replaced. I may have hit Dorothy, and okay, yeah, I guess that's pretty wicked.
Dorothy gets quiet and says, "Esme, it's not my fault Mr. Fleming cast us like this. If you want to be something different here, you don't have to be typecast as a witch. And do you think that matters right now?" And I point at the others here and the forest.
If we want to help Mr. Fleming, we have to find Oster. And we need the wizard.
All right. So let's go find the wizard.
think Esme is herself flustered. What?
If you wanted Esme, you wanted to be Dorothy. Well, put the role on for a little while. Let's go find a way home.
I'm gonna
choose not to be the bad guy. Choose to be another hero. Come help us.
I am also trying to turn on. I'm also trying to turn on Esme with that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll make that roll. I was trying to figure out how to react. And I was just gonna disclaim that by rolling, try to keep my cool because I don't think Esme is doing a good job. But yeah, roll to turn her on. Sure.
All right. I rolled an 8 plus, I believe, 2 is 10.
God. Yeah, take that string.
So yeah, you gain a string on Esme, and then Esme has to choose one of the reactions from the list.
I think she's gonna like look at the broom she's holding, and she's gonna act embarrassed and awkward. I think she's gonna say something. She's gonna like mumble like, "I always want to be the hero. The choice wasn't mine. I would, if I had the choice, I would want to be the hero. You know. Instead, I just got to be bitter."
So, will Esme let me try to remove the wicked condition to heal that? And I'll spend a string if I need to. I think I have one more string with you. To convince you to be the hero and help us instead of stop. But then I want to have the opportunity to remove that wicked thing from you. I don't know what move removes condition.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a move per se. It would just be a case of trying to convince Esme that she has value and she is loved and that sort of thing, which may in turn trigger a turn her on, but that wouldn't be like the thrust of it, sort of thing.
Yeah, like condition. Oh, good.
So really, it's the string is waiting an XP to say if you agree to that, it'll remove. It'll give you an XP.
You can offer a string to get Esme to sort of hear you out, sort of thing. Listen to your words. But I think we'll just switch to see what Micah is up to in the meantime.
Oh, I was just going to ask if Micah could try to shut down Andie trying to make Esme feel better, because I think Micah wants to say something like, "I actually like it when you're wicked."
Turn someone on.
I was going to say that line sounds much more like a turn.
Okay, because I don't know if it's like shutting Andie down, but turning Micah on. Like, don't know which one of those.
Turning Esme on?
Turning Esme on. Sorry, I mean Micah's turning himself on. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, no, I think.
I'm so bad at rolling. It's a 6.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, is this heedlessly pursuing a hunger for love? Then it would be a 7.
Yeah, it sounds like it certainly could be. I think that sounds fair.
Okay.
So yes, I think so. Esme, obviously you get to choose either to give Micah a string or to choose one off of the list as a reaction.
I'll be honest, this is not the turn of events I was expected this game to go. So I'm myself flustered. Yeah, I don't think Esme expected someone to stand up for her, especially someone who she had been insulting like half an hour ago. Let me see. I think I'll give you string because she really didn't expect that, and I think I should just say like, look, okay, all right, okay. Whatever the hell y'all think about me or what I think about myself, I think we can all agree we need to get out of here. So, but let's do that first, and then deal with whatever the fuck we have here. But
the creatures of the forest will be coming soon. We should move.
All right, okay.
Creatures? Okay. Have you been here before?
Dorothy nods.
What the hell are you?
I've been asking myself that question ever since I met you.
And Leo, like, speaks up to him and says, "There might be lions here, or tigers, or bears."
You.
Oh my.
Micah looks over at Leo, just goes like, you do realize you're a lion, or you're playing a lion? You could just like talk to them maybe.
But I'm not a real lion. I don't know what to do with lions. I don't even like watching nature documentaries because I don't like it when the antelopes get eaten.
Leo, you're real here. Roll with it.
Or roar with it.
Just don't leave me behind.
Micah sighs and just like kind of like shoves Will in front of him, or I keep forgetting, Leo in front of him is like, I'll watch your back. And then I think because it's Micah, he'll like yank on Leo's tail.
Sure thing. And I think you can roll to turn him on.
Oh, okay. That's a 9 plus or minus, I don't remember. 9 minus 1 is an 8.
Sure thing. And I think he actually when you pull his tail, he kind of shivers, but then he actually reaches back and grabs your hand, and he said, I'm sorry, Micah. I wanted you back so badly. I didn't realize it would end up like this.
Micah just like shrugs and does like an expansive gesture with like the axe in my hand. He's like, what do you mean? I'm perfectly fine.
And you can tell he's like not entirely convinced, but he doesn't say anything more for the time being, and he just sort of nods and yeah.
There is something about you, though. Dorothy sort of sits on a tree stump in a popcorn eating position.
Oh my
God. Is that there's something about all of us?
About Micah.
No, I think Michael will just like, I mean, you brought us here, so isn't there something about all of us?
I didn't bring. I've never brought anyone here but myself. This is new and different, and she is on for this. Like there's a light in her eyes. I mean, I guess y'all probably want to go back sometime, but this is new.
yeah, this is new and nice and all, but we did leave a comatose, nearly dead, director. We have things. We have. You're gonna make me say the line, aren't you? Esme kind of looks at Dorothy.
Unfortunately, Dorothy's player is not quick on the uptake.
Oh,
No place like home.
yeah, exactly that line.
Dorothy shrugs and says, "It can be yours if you want. At least today. You're not going to take this away from me. But we're here."
All right, okay. This it's all yours. All I wanted was a nice play, something I've been looking. All I want is a nice. What I want isn't this. And I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I don't know if anyone else wants this.
Mike is like
really
leaning
tough.
on his.
We don't have to worry about the things in the forest. I've seen Micah get up from a lot and not even be wearing armor like that. We're good. We'll make it to the wizard.
And I think like Mike is like leaning on his axe and like thinking like, or maybe he says out loud, "Yeah, it's not so bad here, you know." Like if we're all magic or whatever, like maybe you have powers now, Esme. Like Dorothy has powers.
I mean, and I sort of twist my foot a little bit. It's not. I don't really have powers, I guess. It's just, sometimes I can be here. I'm still me. But he has a point. He has a point, Esma. What have you got in that broom?
You mentioned, David, like there feels like a weight in this broom.
Yes, indeed. There's definitely a power to it.
I think like she could sense like there's a power, and she's like, well, I feel like I could do whatever I think this broom can do. I could probably, and I don't know if I have to roll to like conjure that fireball to throw at the tree. But this is a demonstration, I guess.
No, I think you can make that happen fine because you're not currently trying to achieve anything by doing so. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, so I think she does that, and even then her eyes kind of like widen.
I get scared, stumble, and fall down, and I say, "Watch with the fire! I'm made of straw."
Oh right, yeah. You're that now. Here, I think Esme just kind of like stares at the broom remote and stares at the three of you, and just kind of like, so you all really want to stay here?
Kinda.
I think Esme, Oh, this is rough. I have to make a choice. God. How did I end up in this position? I just want to be snarky and a bit of an asshole. I think. Okay. Esme looks at the broom and looks at the three of you, and she says that, and Micah says kinda, and it's just like, and I think her shoulders kind of like slump a bit, and she says like, no, this all seems nice, but I didn't really want much. I didn't want something like this. I just wanted to shine a bit. Not like this. Not cast like this. And I said, and you told me, Andie, that I had a choice. I wanted to be, and for the longest time I thought I didn't have a choice because people chose for me. I wanted to be the silly girl blown away in a whirlwind. And instead, I was always second best. Here, and no, hold on, that's not what she says. And really, that's all I wanted. Not much, not this, or what you have. I think I'm gonna go back. Dorothy has to go back home.
I don't understand, Micah will say. Like, you have so much power here. You can make fireballs happen. Is being on stage, having applause, like, worth giving up this reality? And like Micah like will swing his axe at a tree and be like,
well, you know how the story ends here.
just avoid water.
See, that's the nice thing about being on stage, Micah. I can stop being Dorothy or the witch, and I can just be Esme.
Is that shutting Micah down? Or
One last shutdown. I think if you want it to be, it doesn't feel like you're going out of your way to be mean about it.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that, Leandra, then I'd say feel free to. But yeah, I don't think it's
Yeah, Esme's not being mean. She's trying to make her point, but like, I think I kind of look at Andie and Dorothy. I don't know how they're responding to this.
Dorothy. Oh, Andie, you want to go?
I just wanted to ask: did Micah, not Micah? I'm sorry. Did Esme clear the wicked?
No, because Micah got in the way of that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So in a sense, she's kind of being the wicked one in refusing to go along with everyone else, I guess. Always has to be an iconoclast.
Dorothy nods, looking a little bit sad, and says, if that's what you want, and I can't say I understand, but I'll help you get home.
I think I open my mouth to say something and then realize something and then look at the winged monkeys. Are they coming along home as well? I'll give them the choice, I think.
They will follow you, whichever you decide to do. They will do likewise.
That's the nice thing of having a gang that we didn't characterize. They can just do whatever I want.
But also, why would they want to stay monkeys? They want to go back home and be people.
Yeah, if women want to stay monkeys when there's no witch. Yeah, I think Esme kind of turns back to Dorothy and says, nods, and says, "All right, do I have to do the thing? The heels thing?"
Dorothy strips the weighted slippers off her feet and walks across the glade and purposefully hands them to you, or hands them at you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Esme takes the shoes. And I think there's a kind of like a realization in her face that she's holding these shoes. And I think she kind of like drops the broom. I think there's like a very giddy kind of like pure smile on her face as she kind of like almost in a haste puts them on. And she kind of like she's like smiling really properly now. And she says like I think she says something like, anything you'll want me to bring back, or I guess any messages or something? Do you have like family or whatever?
I think in like this moment where it like seems to be more real that we have a choice of staying or not, Michael will like look over at Leo just to like gauge whether Leo feels like staying or not. Like,
and yeah, I think Leo's going to say, maybe it would be better if we stay here. Maybe you're right. We can be who we want to be here, and we don't have to put up with all the bullshit back home and everything. Maybe we can make something of ourselves here.
And Micah kind of just like nods and like nudge like elbows or some sort of like physical affection thing.
Yeah. Cool.
I think Esme has one last thing to say before she goes.
Cool.
We're not going to reenact the whole goodbye thing. She's too good for that. So I think she looks at Dorothy kind of like one last time, and she says like, "I tried telling Mr. Fleming this from the start. You're better off as a good witch." And she clicks her heels 3 times.
Yeah, and I think you will feel that pull as you are brought back to the real world, and we will come back to you in a moment. What I'll do is I'll give a very brief coda once you're back in the real world, and then we'll do epilogues for people. But yeah, do any the people in the remaining in Oz have any last moments they want as this scene closes?
I guess I'll pick up the discarded broom.
Excellent.
I think Micah just like I figured out what the physical affection is. I think he like swings his arm over Leo and like probably looks over at Andie and says, I mean, we probably should do like the 3 of us and like kind of if we're staying here, we might as well act like it.
And yeah, fall right into character. And we even have a song we're supposed to sing. And he starts off to see the wizard. or they, sorry.
Brilliant. Cool. So that's where we will close off, is in Oz. And Esme, when you return, the light seems more subdued. I mean, it probably makes sense because you're in a theater and like the big theater lights aren't on, but it is it's sort of dingy. The house lights are sort of on, but it's the light spilling onto the stage is fairly dark. There is some police tape around here, and a couple of like those sort of evidence markers have been placed down on the stage, and that's the last thing we see as you return to the real world. And I would, I think I'll just go around and let everyone do a brief epilogue for their characters, something we see of them in the future, whether that's days, years, however long. So I'll go through Character Keeper Roger again, just to continue victimizing Leandro. So what do we see of Esme?
Okay, so I think so Mr. Fleming's totally out. He's not up for directing. So I think what's gonna happen is probably the performance is gonna be pushed back maybe like a month or so, or even more, because there's no director. And I think it might have been canceled if not for the fact that there's like half the cast is gone as well. So I think actually with half the cast gone, I think it is gonna be like properly canceled for sure. And I think Esme for a moment kind of tries to resist and fight for it, but I think even she realized like it's it's not gonna happen. So I think the proper epilogue is like we're gonna skip forward maybe like a few years, and there's a new production of The Wizard of Oz here in Emerald City High School, and the stadium, the theater lights are on, and there's the cast is there waiting for like to do their dress rehearsal, and probably there's some sniping, there's some people throwing barbs at each other, people being seduced in the toilets and whatnot, and then suddenly, but everyone stands to attention when the director comes in. And everyone knows that Miss Esme Gulch knows this play inwards and outwards, and she has very exacting standards. So they better meet them. You're muted, David. You're still muted, David.
For some reason, it doesn't like it when I. For some reason, it doesn't like it when I use the space bar. It just automatically unmutes it again. Cool. So thank you. And yeah, next we will have Andie's epilogue. If you'd like to go, Marco.
Yeah, as an individual who's able to mimic other creatures in the land of Oz, I find that some years in the future, I am a very valuable member of Glenda's court, as she sends me into her rival witches' areas to take care of her enemies and weaken her sister's power, which she always calls as evil, but you know who's the real bad brother in Oz. And that's who I'm working for, Glenda.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And Micah. Let's see what we see of Micah.
I think the fact that we're in Oz kind of like weirdly, like the extra weirdness of being in a land that's not normal, like negated at least the weird animosity between Leo and Micah, because now like they're already in a weird place. There are witches, fireballs happen, flying monkeys. So what does it matter if like Micah doesn't really ever die? So I'm imagining like the two of them just like, I don't know if Leo comes with me, but like Micah's gonna go on adventures throughout Oz, continuing to be like sort of a mindless, well, reckless, like person who gets into all sorts of trouble, but it's okay because if he comes back, he comes back, and maybe over time, like if he's with Leo, Leo kind of gets like used to it, and maybe that helps with him regain some courage.
Yeah, I think it's probably something that Leo's never entirely comfortable with, but he certainly gets a lot better in time at dealing with the dangers of the world. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Dorothy. What do we see of Dorothy?
I think we pan up from Andie or Micah, and we see Dorothy astride Esme's broom, racing off to the horizon to explore this land. And she's got her backpack over one shoulder, and a notebook falls out, and it's the doodle of the toad from biology class, and it just sort of tumbles down to the grass and lies forgotten.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. Well, that was a brilliant game, everyone. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed it. Somewhat atypical for Monsterhearts with the setting, but I think that was a good. It was good to have so many of you playing this for the first time. So thank you very much. I'm just going to take a very, very brief break, and then we'll do a quick round. I'll stop recording first, but then we'll do a quick round of stars at the end, just to wrap things up. I'll just be back in like I said, a minute or so. But
To Oz? To Oz.
We come to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Here he is, a wizard of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. If ever a whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're out to see